We have Niko.
True.
He have an amazing life journey, cross-continent, cross-borders. First, dealing with lots of software and administration of different technologies. Then getting an amazing scholarship from LG Electronics, moving from Russia to South Korea,
Right.
which is so unique, culture-wise. Everything that I can think of, food. And then...
Weather.
Yeah, absolutely. Forget the
Drinking
weather,
culture,
man.
yeah.
And you can add more things.
Yeah.
Then moving to Singapore, joining a startup, be the not like a AI copilot, but a real copilot. Yeah, for a founder, for a friend, growing a startup from 0 to 1. You will share more about it. Developing a community for cybersecurity entrepreneurs and juniors that they want to be in cybersecurity globally, influence conferences. Man, you did such an amazing things in your life, and I'm so happy and thank you for taking the time and be with us today.
Of course, with pleasure.
Before we're gonna start everything, you should tell us how you got to Singapore.
On a plane.
Not
Kidding.
swimming? I thought swimming.
No, my dream is to have a yacht eventually, but yeah, fortunately...
Just invite us.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. But eventually... I got because of my friend that you mentioned, Paul, and company he started Horangi. So basically, at that time I was working at LG Electronics. So spent more than 6 years at LG, totally like 10 years, almost 10 years in South Korea. Paul shared with me idea of Horangi at his early stage when he would start working on it with his co-founder, CTO at that time, Ali. Basically, I remember that time, like it was summer of 2016. So he just called me and said, hey, Niko, we got a very good opportunity, like a partner in the Philippines, actually. Yeah. So he said, you have to quit LG right now and come to Philippines. So I felt like the similar experience or similar feeling what I had when I moved to Korea, because I knew nothing about South Korea that time when I was moving there, but I saw a great opportunity and I came. So the similar feeling happened when Paul asked me to join Horangi. I got my work pass in Singapore, but the first project was in the Philippines. So I quit LG, we came to Singapore, we had an opening party for the company, and then I came to the Philippines where I was working on a 1-year project.
When did you meet Paul?
I met Paul in South Korea. I don't know, time flies, so I lost count of time. I lost count of my age, so don't ask me these numbers.
And your marriage? No, I'm just joking.
No, I have to remember, the birthday of my wife and daughters, but hard to remember myself. It was sometime, I think 2014 or 13, So a few years before Horangi started. So basically we met in South Korea. He came to an event I was organizing with Soldier Society, a community I started in South Korea. We became friends. We party quite well. A lot of fun in South Korea. We also discussed some good, interesting technical topics. And then he moved to Singapore. From Singapore, he moved to New Zealand. And all of that was still with Palantir Technologies. And in New Zealand, he started more deeply work on idea of Horangi and start sharing it with myself. When he came back to Singapore, he started registering Horangi officially in 2016.
Got it, in Singapore. Got it. Yeah, Paul, if you're listening, we're going to be inviting you on. We're just throwing that out there. We're doing that now. Yeah, so Paul, be ready.
He's an amazing person, definitely worth it to speak to.
Yeah, and I think it's also amazing the whole Horangi and the Singapore story and stuff like that. I think one of the things we're trying to do with the podcast, not just so much because Raz comes from a cyber background, but just normalize talking about cyber, because it just feels like, AI, so these are legitimate things that I don't think get enough airtime because there's such pivotal technical pieces to the industry, right? So it's cool to kind of meet you and learn more about Horangi. So pretty excited about that. Why South Korea? How did that actually happen? Because it felt like such a long, a huge switch from where you come from to there. And how did that happen? And, how has that impacted the rest of your life, basically?
Yeah, I don't know why South Korea, right? Like, I think it was just like luck. I mean, and luck is like well prepared, right? Opportunities, like in the right time. So there was a scholarship from LG Electronics. I saw it at my university and basically just applied for it without any, how to say, like specific expectations. Yeah, it was just like wanted to try always to get experience abroad. I also had at that time an opportunity to go for internship in Canada, but internship only planned for like 3 months, like a few months, yeah. And basically, scholarship with LG Electronics promised like long-term opportunity, studying in South Korea for 2 years for master degree, and then working with LG Electronics at least like 4 years, because they sponsored the master course. Eventually, I ended up staying longer with LG, but yeah, no expectations at the time. So just came. Like a funny story, right? Like I saw a picture of, like I went to a website of university, I saw a picture, like a castle, and I thought, oh wow, cool, like South Korea have castles. And eventually, like when I came to Korea, like I learned the history that they never built castles, right? Like this like European castle. So like just Korean university designed the buildings like in this European style. So this is how much I knew about South Korea.
Yeah, like there was no castles to be found.
You've been before like in Asia before moving to
No.
like an Asian experience?
Is that the first flight then, just to Asia? You just land in Korea?
Almost no. I didn't. So I didn't travel much that time. I mean, like I was very, like how to say, normal kid, right? Like not with much money. So I had to like do a lot of additional like part-time job while I was studying, so I can buy like my very, like how to say, traditional car, right? Like used one, like 20 years old car, just like to have a car as a student, but it was very luxury, right? But I earned it for it myself. And my first flight was just right before Korea with my friends to Alps skiing, yeah. But yeah, basically I also had to earn for this trip myself. So technically, I would say, yeah, like flying this long distance for this opportunity was kind of a first time, yeah.
Wow. Scary or exciting?
Both.
Both,
yeah. Yeah, but I guess, yeah, I always try to overcome my fears, right, and challenges. So definitely was exciting and a lot of fears, but yeah, I wanted to tackle this challenge, and definitely was a great experience.
First impression of Korean food? I mean, because have never been to Asia, never lived in Asia. Boom, you're there. You're a student, so you're probably going to be eating local food to kind of like get by and not spend a lot of money, right?
I don't have a strong impression of food, but I have a strong impression of people, right? I came to Korea and there was another PhD student at a lab where I was going to study. And he took care of me, right? He took me for a lunch, so my first lunch in South Korea. So we had like Korean noodles, non-spicy. So I think he was like thoughtful, like to bring me to non-spicy place. And he showed me how to use chopsticks. So I would never forget this one, right? And like afterwards, like everyone was like telling me, hey, like you use chopsticks so well, like professionally. Because like, you know, Koreans, like they use chopsticks from childhood, and some of them like use it in a very like country style. Yeah. So like very holding in a very weird position. Yeah. So this guy, like took good care of me, like brought me for nice lunch, like showed how to use chopsticks, introduced about South Korea, and we became friends. Yeah.
And you've never been back to your home country since this first move, right?
No, I
mean, you've traveled back, but you've never moved back.
Yeah,
You've been in Asia ever since.
Definitely. I visited my parents. Yeah, I've not been to my home country, unfortunately, like for past 4 years. Yeah. But before that, before COVID, I visited my parents maybe once a year. Yeah. But all my professional career and my part of my studies were always here in Asia.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel that the South Korean or Asian culture influence your career?
Very good question. So everyone tells like I look like a Western people, right? Like I'm behaving like an all mindset is like Korean, yeah. But I respect Asian culture a lot. So I think like in Asia culture, right, there is this mindset to respect elderly people, right? Also to be patient. So there are a lot of interesting aspects in Asia culture, and I think I like politeness, right? I think a lot of these things impacted me, so I definitely behave very differently.
How you converted to your career, like to your success? Politeness. What does it mean in your daily, work?
I think politeness, like listening, right? And I think if you guys know and listen a lot of people like this, life coaches, right? Like motivators, like everyone tells about listening well. So I think I know that I have this good skill for listening. Yeah, so a lot of people gave me feedback about this skill, and I believe I got this kind of skill from learning from Asian culture, like from being patient, polite. While listening, also I think what is important, like taking notes. So I always, like every meeting I do, like I take very good detailed notes and always reflect on this. So I think it helps with career very well. Yeah. So you can always refer to these notes. You can like always like you go for next meeting, you know you remember what you talked to previously, and you don't spend or waste time, right, on repeating the same things. Yeah. So always be like prepared, structured. I think this is very important for career.
Do you handwrite your notes or type?
Both. Yeah. Nowadays we work remotely, so I usually type. But if I go for a physical meeting, I like to handwrite.
Got it. Very cool.
Actually, same as me. When I'm like physical, handwrite. When I'm remote, I'm typing.
Yeah, I guess because you're on camera and all that.
It's funny that you're saying that. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way.
But one thing, it's a good question. So I just like realized. So I do take hand writing notes myself. Just when I work remotely, like my list of tasks, like to do tasks for a day. So I think like in the morning, like sitting with my notebook and taking like paper notebook, right, and taking written notes helps a lot to structure my day.
Yeah, that gave me a great thought about your journey. So what's your skills that you build? Because you were working in LG Electronic, which is not a cybersecurity expert. You transfer yourself to be a cybersecurity expert. From there, working in a startup, and then being a VP in a startup for cybersecurity. How does it make happen? Can you tell us more about your journey, the transformation? How you learn about all these phases of being there?
Yeah, my background was a software engineer. So at the university, I studied like computer science as bachelor degree, and then first my master degree, like some automations of manufacturing processes, but all based on computer science. Then I did digital signal processing for my second master degree, but basically it's like pattern recognition. Basically it's what fancy words now for AI and machine learning, right? So all of this boils down to like pattern recognition and signal processing. So and what I believe, right, like learning these fundamental principles, right, this is important like for any career, right? Then I felt I was like able to pivot to like cybersecurity, or like I feel like if I want to go deeper like into AI, I feel quite confident that I can catch up on this area as well. So I believe that like if you guys go to universities, right, the like education system nowadays like changing very fast, right, and like you can get a lot of many knowledge from online courses or anywhere. But I still believe like going to university is important, but not only for knowledge, right, but for learning how to learn. So and like learning basic principles. Like fundamental principles. I don't think that universities, and I don't think that it's their job to be like up to date with technologies or like with trends. Their goal is to provide like fundamental knowledge and ability to learn. Yeah. So this is what I experienced for myself. Yeah, like being in university and getting different degrees. Yeah. That now I can apply to go into cyber or any other area.
What's your biggest learning hack? I mean, like you're saying, you learn how to learn. What's your biggest takeaway for things that help you learn how to learn?
I guess it's like passion, right? As well as patience and curiosity. So I don't know. Yeah. It's difficult to say, yeah, but I always like at the university, I was always very curious, like to learn different things, right? Not only focus on one specific topic, right? So like kind of have a broad knowledge, but also this is a trap, right? Like if you have too many interests and don't focus, right? You also don't learn important things and don't have practical skills. So you still need to have like one area where you can focus, but learn broad skills around it. And what very important is hands-on, like practicing. Doing. Like if you only read, if you only study theory, like you forget it. Just side note, right? Like I also like to learn languages. So like when I came to Korea, I learned Korean language and use it for work because I worked with engineers, and engineers usually prefer to use
How'd you learn?
local
like,
language.
Go to classes?
Many things, yeah. So went to classes, talked to friends, took like private lessons, listened to podcasts. So like again, like same as I mentioned, right? Like like get information from all different sources. Yeah. Like try to broaden your horizon, right? But still stay focused. Basically, if you learn a language, right? Like if you don't practice it, like you forget it very quickly.
Yeah.
So the same is like for any other skills. Like if you just read a book, like theory about computer science, right? And don't do anything, like if you don't like take apart your laptop or like your computer, right? And don't understand how it works, you'll forget it immediately, like after a few months. So you have to read, then do something, then read again, do something, and repeat this cycle.
Do you still use your South Korean?
Yes, yeah. I'm learning Chinese, and my teacher, she's in Korea. She's a Chinese person married to a Korean husband, right? She lives in Korea. I met her there, and I was learning from her Chinese when I was in Korea, but already like start moving to Singapore, and I keep learning from her. Chinese, basically, and speak to her in Korean for explanation. So, like, I'm learning Chinese from Korea.
How many languages?
Like
English, Russian, South Korean,
Chinese, and I'm playing like Duolingo, like to practice French and a bit of Romanian, because like BitDefender, like as a company which acquired Horangi, their main workforce in Romania. So, and my colleagues are in Romania. Yeah.
Wow.
I feel underaccomplished when I hear all this. Yes, that's impressive.
I guess it's different focus, right? Like, I don't play games, right?
Yeah.
I like to relax. Like I just go on Duolingo, and basically it's a game for me.
Yeah.
So actually, the side note, someone will get on the global business development head for Duolingo lives in Singapore. Ravi. So
Ravi, be ready.
We'll have Ravi, be ready.
Be ready.
So this language thing's super cool. One of the things we saw in researching your profile and some of the information is you like to talk about customer success and kind of how important that is. Kind of play back, like one of the things that like when I talk to startups and I talk to people building them, and I have this like alternative deck I built where I talk about how support or customer success is like a huge pivotal piece of a startup that a lot of people forget about. And they forget about the virality and the word of mouth that happens when you have good support and just good customer success, which is, I think, something Horangi was known for. So what does that mean to you in your Horangi journey, or just as you have been someone who's built products, where offering good customer success is important? Like, why is that so for you?
I guess I learned it from Paul, from another early employees at Horangi, because Paul always focused on like very sleek, very nice design, right, and very good visuals of Horangi product, of Horangi brand, like, and everyone was like complimenting us about like Horangi tiger logo, which looks like some people mention like looks like a transformer. So yeah, I think I appreciated and learned it from Paul and our early designer at that time, Brandon, yeah, who basically came up with like details of design, right? And I was applying to the product. So when I started at Horangi, like I was in charge of our engineering team and building our first product. So I took what Brandon provided and applied it to the product for design. So I really liked it, yeah. Also, there is a mindset I learned from our founders, like from Paul and our CTO Lee. So they talk that basically security is not a technical problem, right? It's a people problem. And you don't sell security, right? You cannot sell like product. You sell trust, right? You need to build first trust, and then you can sell a product. And that's why like it was always very important to build like a trustworthy brand for Horangi, right? Like to have services, because like through services, like from human connection with clients, like professional services, you can build trust. And if our clients like our brand, like our company, trust us, yeah, they can use our product as well.
You're within BitDefender, but do you still think about like how that's an important piece in the cybersecurity kind of product line? This trust, customer success is almost, like you said, that's almost more important than the product, right?
I would say equally, yeah, because like technology excellence is very important.
Yeah, it needs
as well.
to work, right?
Yeah. But yeah, definitely this customer success, customer facing part is very important, definitely. And I think we have a lot of similarities in culture, what I find like after acquisition. So, and I think like the saying of BitDefender, like trust always, yeah, like the most trusted cybersecurity company is also like what we believed in Horangi, like, yeah, and building trust in Asia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the things that I'm less than a year in Singapore, and something that I come from Israel, and we like to celebrate, successes. And it's something that I don't see over here for cybersecurity. So Horangi being acquired by BitDefender, which is a huge success, and we need to celebrate it. It's like something that is so unique. And to go there as a person that have been in that journey with company XM Cyber, it's a moment that that you devoted so much time. And I can say for a person that was leading some of the customer operations back then, customer satisfaction is one of the key elements for a success of a good product. For sure. Because when the customer know to appreciate when you're fixing something, not when everything is working, yeah? When there is an issue, and technology has issues, have bug. We used to say bug is by design, yeah?
It's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature. So I think I fully agree with you, and customer satisfaction is another engine for success for any company, for any product. And totally with that, and gave me the sense of thinking, you've been in cybersecurity, you saw 0 to 1, you're now in a big company, you see trends, being in the cyber, how do you see it's like evolve and emerge with AI? Yeah, AI.
Well, I definitely see there are like new threats as well as like new opportunities. Well, I wouldn't say like AI is, how to say, it's definitely an important thing, right? But I think it takes time to put it into practice, like in practical application. I don't like, basically, I think coming to my, what you asked previously about culture, right? Coming to my patience, what I learned in Asia, right? I prefer to see and observe, and apply when it's mature. So a lot of hype and a lot of things were happening when cloud came, right? And everyone was like, on one side, they're very excited about cloud, another side, like very worried, right? And let's say like early adopters like startups were moving to cloud, but like bigger companies or like government organizations were slower to move to cloud. But like these days, like I teach about cloud quite a few times, right? Like just gave a workshop at SynCon last week. But I say like cloud is nothing special, right? Basically, cloud is everything, all technologies existed, right? It's just cloud is like data center, but you can access through the internet and manage it remotely.
Correct.
And of course, like it gives a lot of opportunities to bring resources on demand, build a very use a lot of services, right, in the cloud, easily accessible. But also it gives a new threat, right, that now management of your infrastructure is open to everyone, publicly.
Yeah.
So the same is for AI, right? All technologies, like all these algorithms existed, right? As I said, like I learned like pattern recognition when I more than 10 years ago when I was at university. And all these concepts are same, right? They just now have opportunity to apply them. Like there is more data to apply all of these things, right? So we just need to see real implementation and address practical, specific problems when this technology is implemented in enterprises. Yeah.
So would you focus first? Protect against AI or leveraging AI to create better defense, products?
I think leveraging AI to protect, because we definitely see that threat actors, like bad guys, start using AI, right? For example, like automatically generate phishing emails, right? Yeah. But it helps them to scale, right? Let's say instead of like sending phishing email to a few people, like they can now automate it and send it to many more victims. But it's still the phishing email, right? Mm-hmm. And as soon as we get better on protecting from, for example, phishing emails, right, using AI, whether it's sent by human or AI, so we still will be better, right? So I would say, I would focus on defending, using AI for defense,
Mm-hmm.
And do you think it's going to be exciting for the cybersecurity industry, the use of AI, or is that because you're having to deal with the fact that, like you said, the threat guys are grabbing at the same time? Is this just the typical kind of ladder up strategy that happens in cyber?
Great question. So I adopt the same similar saying, right? Like what our founders and what our company uses, like security is a business enabler, right? So I don't want that security become like a blocker and some fence, right, to stop or block business or human life, right?
Sure.
So I definitely excited, right, that there are new technologies and we just need to embrace them and work together with business to apply them in a reasonable, planned way. So it still enable business, but used responsibly and safely.
Got it. I think we're going to ask this question to everybody that's in cyber. So what do you tell a normal person? What's your hot cyber tip to a normal person? Just a normal human that uses computers to make their life safer.
So take your digital life seriously, right? So the same as you protect from physical threats, right? Like you lock the door, right? Like you lock windows, like you set grills, right, on your windows. So as the same as you have like a basic hygiene to protect your physical space, same do for your digital space. Now, look at yourself, right? How much time you spend in digital space, with your laptop, with your phone, right? Probably more than in your real life, right? Yes. Like talking to people. So take your digital life seriously, and apply the basic security hygienes. Yeah, start with basics.
Stop the 11111 for password and.
Yeah, use let's say dual factor authentication, right? Not just a basic password, for example. Think carefully what you post online, right? About yourself, pictures you post, so that threat actors can learn less about you. Yeah. So you don't you don't go outside your home and shout, right? Hey, I'm exiting my home and it's empty, right? So you shouldn't do the same like online.
Yeah. Fair.
I know that you want to say something?
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I know that you love to teach. We had a few conversations in the past, and I asked Niko, "What is your dream?
Right.
What do you want to do in the next 5 years?" And he said, "I want to have a school, but it's going to be a different one. Yeah, it's going to be a different one." And I want to take just a small niche of your dream and saying, specifically in cyber, this young lady, they're thinking about cyber, and she want to be a cyber analyst, or she want to do a forensic. What's gonna be your advice for her or he to join, this domain or be part of that?
I need to think.
This is why you are here.
Yes. I would say that definitely like some practical experience is important. So I would say and there are so many opportunities to show a tangible output, like when they are looking for a job, right, and showing their profile. So you can do like some open source projects, right, like develop something or build something for cybersecurity related, right, and publish on GitHub or like any other source code repository, and show it that you have something practical to deliver, right? Because unfortunately nowadays there is a lot of barriers to enter cyber, right? Like I don't know where it came from, right? But now there are so many barriers like certifications, experience required to enter cyber. I see that this mindset can be changing, right? But still there are these limitations. So that's why a new person to cyber should show some real practical output. This is first thing. And second thing, I appreciate community, cybersecurity community, right? I've not seen so much this kind of vibrant community in other areas, right? So cybersecurity guys go to Vegas, DEF CON, right? Party like crazy, but also do cool stuff together, hackathons, CTFs, building cool stuff, right? So get into community, right? Go to meetups, go to conferences, learn from it, first of all, right? Second, build network, build the relationship, and this will be an opportunity for a new person to get a cyber security role.
Do you still think it's an exciting industry to get involved with, from where you came from to now? Because a lot of people would say it's getting messy, and we talked about there's this article being a CISO is hard, and there's just a lot of focus, or let's say attention to typically in the world all the bad things that are happening with break-ins and stuff like that. Do you think it's a worse place to be for someone entering the technology industry, or that it's exciting and it's still new problems to tackle?
It's difficult to say, right? I think it's a personal and subjective for everyone. I would tell about myself, right, that if I had if I would start from a beginning, right, I still would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I think it depends on personality. So definitely cyber is tough. A lot of challenges, but it's fun, right? And it's exactly what matches my personality. So you saw I took on a challenge on uncertainty and came to South Korea, came to the Philippines, Singapore. So I came to cyber. A lot of challenges, but very exciting.
We'll go back to one thing. You talked about a framework for the learning, or even the thing where you're saying you look at a lot of different things, you go deep on a few of them. So let's talk about this just a little bit more. And I think the theme we like to always hit on is this generalism. That's why we're called the generalist versus specialism.
Okay.
It seems you've kind of lived that in your life with the things you've studied, moving to Korea, the language thing. That's a very generalist thing. Is this a framework for you? And has it been meaningful to your success, this notion of how you are kind of a broad spectrum person?
Definitely, and I think the life should have full spectrum, right? And I guess it depends again on personality, right? I know that definitely some people are happy just focusing on one specific thing and doing the same thing all over and over again, right? But going deeper into it. I think for me, I like different experiences. It's same for my like personal life as well as like for my professional life. But still, even for generalists, like even for people like myself who like broad range of experiences, again, like as I mentioned before, I think it's important to have one like pillar, one thing, like you become an expert, like you become professional, right? You get respected, like you feel confident and comfortable with, right? And from this like foundation, from this stepping stone, like you can grow into other areas. Yeah.
So you have kids, right?
Yeah.
How do you think about this same subject, but in light of your children?
I guess again, like I don't know, honestly, right? I guess it's a learning experience, observation. So, and as I told, like everyone is different. We need to see like what our children like, right? Like what is suitable to them. But for example, like for our older daughter, like we know that she likes art. She likes like draw. We try to support her around this activity so she can kind of focus on this specific activity, but then extend her like knowledge, her experience, starting from this specific focus and trying to apply it in different things, right? So maybe like making professionally or applying it for community. So if she becomes like good and professional in one, like this drawing art thing, right? I think she can apply it and use it in many different.
So you kind of have this like you're pulling on one thread to maybe be something that you can stand out with, but hey, make sure you have these other puzzle pieces for, you know, practical things and other knowledge things. Because that's kind of what you've done, right? Like cybersecurity is one of your probably main threads. But then you would back it up with, well, if I speak these languages, I do this. Like that seems to be kind of how you're doing this. Is that a fair statement? Like,
yeah, I think one important observation I have, right? Like span of attention these days, like getting shorter, right? I don't know, like maybe too much information, too many exciting things happening, right? But I observe it like in like personal activities of people as well as like in professional life, right? Like I see that people change work, right? Like within a year, right? Every year. But you cannot become like expert. You cannot become professional if you change something you just started like less than a year, right? You need like when I've been like hiring, I've been like interviewing, I've been growing a lot of people, like building several different teams, right? And I can see that you can only like start doing some and bringing real impact, right? Making some tangible output after a year, right? In the role, like when you get used to everything, when you become professional, right? And familiar with this role. But like if you move already after a year, right? Like how can you build these muscles? Like how can you have a habit, right? To do this thing like professionally and well. So yeah, I think people nowadays, like young people, should learn how to stay focused, right? And have passion, and patience.
Yeah, I think that's some good career advice because I think we're all taught to maybe jump around or grab the next thing, but in reality, there's so much to learn in these roles to where you excel at them take some factor of time, right?
Yeah, I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong or you think different. I think like the 2 years, it's a good and decent time just to reevaluate your role. Doesn't mean that you need to change a company,
right?
But you can just look around and say, did I study enough? Did I influence enough? Can it contribute to my next step? You can stay in the same company, but you just need to reevaluate. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, and it's actually a very, I don't know how you know about this, right? But I think it kind of
mentor. Really?
It kind of like related to my experience because I feel I have loyalty, right? So I like to stay with again like trust, right? Like with trusted in trusted environment. So I've been like with LG more than 6 years. I been with Horangi and now part of BitDefender, so totally almost 8 years. Yeah, but again, like I don't like same things, right? I don't like like how to say when things become boring. But I would say like my every day in Horangi and BitDefender like has never been same and boring, right? So I've been in the role of like in charge of engineering team for like almost 2 years, right? After that, like I start transitioning into a internal security role, and I've been with this role, for a couple of years. But then it started expanding. Basically, I start also building an IT function because like you cannot do security without IT. And nowadays, I see like that. There is quite a big gap of separation between security and IT, and I observe that there is an issue when like security and IT team don't talk to each other, right? So I had a privilege or like exciting opportunity to be in charge of both like security and IT and build it within one department. So, and after that, like compliance part started adding to my role. So we got like SOC 2 Type 2 certification, was like very new experience, like basically obtaining this huge compliance for a young company was a very challenging part. And then like we went through acquisition part, so it was totally different experience. And after acquisition, now we are working on integration. Like I've never had such huge projects to handle in my life, right? Like migrating entire, like how's it, data, cloud data for more than 100 people, right? Like it's a big project. Yeah. So I think like, I stayed loyal. I stayed for a long time in one company, but my experience was always different.
And I think this is one of the, like, because you hear a lot of times people talk about this portfolio career or like, I have a portfolio career because I do these things. And I think what a startup or like a scale up is provided for you is you have shifted what you do every couple of years within the umbrella of just staying there. And I think if people, and when they find that, they probably do stay there because they can like, I'll do the next thing. I think what happens is people can't seem to make that work wherever they are, and then they change jobs, right? But there is some power to the corporations or the scale ups like yourself that have provided for you this chance to do numerous things, but still stay there and, have the continuity of the place that you're in.
I agree with you partially, right? So I think it's not only that corporations or companies provide you with opportunity, you also have to discover this opportunity. So definitely like there is this saying, right? Like you cannot do the same thing over again and expect different results, right? It's insane, right? So if of course like company does not give you opportunity to try new things, but you've tried, right? You cannot keep doing it. But you cannot give up from the first time, right? If you don't get this opportunity from the company, it does not mean that company didn't want to give this opportunity. Maybe there were some other obstacles, right?
Good, fair observation. Cool. Well, thanks for doing this. We're gonna, get off this train and kind of end with some closing stuff that we always have for everybody. I think your journey is just fascinating, and now I'm kind of lamenting that I only know a couple languages. So I like what you're doing there, and I think that like learning Chinese via the Korean angle is pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
What would you tell your 20-year-old self that you've learned today, if you could go back and tell that 20-year-old something that might help them? What would it be?
Great question. Meet my wife earlier.
You got it.
That's a fair one.
But I think I think I would do the same. Just like maybe if I knew about my future experience, right? I definitely reflect on it and improve it, because I always believe like on receiving feedback, on taking any feedback right, is important, right? Like you have to be open to bad and good feedback both, right? So I would, if I would knew my future, I would reflect on it, right? But I still will do the same, but in a better way.
Got it. Just like improve it. Yeah. That's good though. That's amazing to feel that way.
Yeah.
So
and I like the way you embrace your wife, man. Good job. Good job. That's the right answer. Love it.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a good one. What do you do to, I don't want to say to maintain, but empower your mental and your wellness, like physical wellness and your mental things?
I like reading, yeah. So I like reading books, different books, right? Like fictional, non-fictional, self-development, like professional books, yeah. So I think this is important. Of course, like sport. And again, like we'll definitely mention my beloved wife. So thanks to her, right, she motivates me to go and do exercise regularly. Yeah, but I tried different sports as well. So I think like when we were at Telocare, our first office, like in Shop House, we had Evolve, like one championship gym, right, next to our office. So I had quite a bit of fun going there, like learning Muay Thai, yeah. But nowadays, like working remotely, like it's not easy to travel far away to do this kind of exercises. But I try to go to gym regularly, and when there is opportunity, I like to go like skiing. Yeah, this is my favorite activity for like more like focused sport. Yeah.
Where do you like to go for skiing?
Definitely, I would say Korea because I like generally this country, right?
Yeah.
But also I had great experience in Japan. Like snow in Japan is like Korea has very comfortable facilities. Like you just can go outside of Seoul.
Japan has amazing snow though.
But Japan has very nice snow.
December I'm going skiing, man. Either South Korea, Japan, or China. For sure.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah.
So you talk about reading stuff like that. Tell us one thing that you've been reading, watching, listening that you're getting a lot out of it that you could share with other people. A book, a podcast, a show, anything.
It's a great question because I'm bad with titles of books, right, or movies and like name of actors. I'm good like with technical numbers, right?
No worries.
But well, I would tell you like my recent book, right? What I've been reading. It's called Higher Loyalty. So it's like a ex director of FBI wrote this book. I actually was very surprised. I had it in my bookshelf. I don't remember when I bought it, and I think I bought it because I thought maybe it would be like a business book about like loyalty to the company. But I read all my books I had already, and I was like just browsing my bookshelf and found this book. Started reading it like a month ago, and I actually like it very much.
Higher
now.
loyalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you're like me, I'm sure they get on your bookshelf because you're in the airport. You're in the airport, and you're like, okay, let me buy that one, and then 6 months later, it's still sitting there staring at me. I have that problem.
I wonder if this guy is generalist, this FBI guy. I'm just...
Higher Loyalty, we'll check that out.
He is, yeah. He did like very different experiences. Like I think he basically had a lawyer career, right? He was like attorney general and then, or vice attorney general, and then he became a FBI director. Yeah.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Of course, pleasure. Thanks for inviting.
This is great.
It was great. Thank you so much.
So, Paul, it's next. Your turn.
Yeah. We got Paul came out of this one. He's on my list actually, so we'll get him. You can help us, but I have him on WhatsApp. So.
Elton Paul.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.